This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free Blackstone 8-piece accessory kit when you buy a Blackstone 28-inch griddle. Plus, get 2 free select Craftsman V20 tools when you buy an RP brushless drill and impact driver combo kit. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Hannah Green, Noralia, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin Ishara, Ashlee Bradley, Helena Jacobsen, Matthew Mendoza, Cyndi, Daniel Moore, and Patrick Wallbankk. We also want to give a huge shout out to a few people who renewed their annual pledge for a whole another year of support on patreon.com/thewheelweaves podcast. Thank you so much to Rory Whaley, HerrBeredt, Sandeep Saini, Death's Little Helper, Lisa Lennox, and Ann Day. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Taylor Azize, Alex Nelson, Carol Tatlow, and Nick. We really appreciate your generosity and could not do this without you. Thank you so much for your support. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 52 of Towers of Midnight.
Yeah, Chapter 52 is Boots. Okay, and good news is I figured out the plan for the rest of the book. That's the good news. I don't have any of my stuff back. I've not been able to recover it. So at this point, I think I'm just going to move forward.
Yeah.
I'm in the little bit of the acceptance. Yeah. I think it might revert a little bit, back to... Does it go back to anger? I don't know.
It certainly can.
It goes back and forth, yeah, on the daily. But
yeah,
we're here. We're doing it.
Okay.
And I'm glad that we have a plan for the end of the book. You
have the plan and you tell me what it is.
Because we are going to do 4 more episodes for this book.
Whoa.
And then we're done.
How many chapters are left?
So we're going to do one single... I'll say this again at the end. We're going to do 1 chapter.
Okay.
Then 2 chapters. Then 2 chapters. And then it's the epilogue.
Ooh, and the epilogue's on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And then a book review and recap.
Yeah,
episode.
Exactly.
Because it's been a full year almost since we've done a book recap and review. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then done Towers of Midnight. And then we might have to take a little bit of like a week or 2 for me to get a little bit more planning ready because I have to replan things.
Sure. For
the last book, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that's like, a month away. It's fine.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just get it done already.
Okay. All right.
Let's just read through the whole last book.
Right. One go.
And then I'll talk about it.
That'd be great.
Because this whole year to read a book nonsense, not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
No. And everybody's calling this the podcast log that you're creating.
I'm sorry, okay? It's only partially my fault. Only partially. I accept partial responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into this chapter, Boots.
Okay.
And for this fun fact, I don't have any evidence that this is actually true, but I like to think that... So Matt goes on about boots a little bit.
They're just boots, man.
Yeah, well, okay, here's the thing, too. This is actually a little bit of a controversial chapter for fans who either do like the whole spiel with Matt this chapter. Some people really don't like it and don't think it's in his character and how he's talking.
I understand that.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's not what this fun fact's about. I like to think that this is a little bit of homage to Terry Pratchett from his Discworld series. Because in Discworld, one of Terry Pratchett's characters has a theory of socioeconomic unfairness called the Boots Theory.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't know if that's strictly from Terry Pratchett, though.
I'm pretty sure
I've also seen things about the boot theory based on socioeconomic status.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure Terry Pratchett at least popularized it, if not created it.
I don't know. I would like to know.
And it's been cited in real life now. I'm going to say I didn't really do a lot of research on like Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, that's what, because I have heard of this theory, and I was wondering if this would be your fun fact, but I didn't know you were going to.
Well, it's from like the 90s, and it was like 30 years ago, so it's totally possible he figured it out first.
I would have to say
he's a smart guy. Okay,
and I would say it's from before that.
I'm not. I'm going to say the opposite.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to hedge, and that way at least one of us will be right.
Right.
So that's good.
Good.
Okay. So it's an economic theory that people in poverty have to buy cheap and subpar products that need to be replaced repeatedly, proving more expensive in the long run than more expensive items up front. So I took the quote from the book, if anyone's interested in it. So it says, the reason that the rich were so rich, Vime's reason, that's the character, was because they managed to spend less money. Take boots, for example. A really good pair of leather boots costs $50. But an affordable pair of boots, which are sort of okay for a season or two and then leaked like hell when the cardboard gave out, cost about $10. But the thing was that good boots lasted for years and years. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while a poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet.
Right. That is actually, I think, the quote I know.
Yeah, that's from his book.
No way. Now hold on though, because I'm a little bit confused because there's an author that nobody likes.
Right.
Or that I've heard bad things about.
Different Terry.
Yeah. I didn't want to be like, let's quote that guy that nobody likes.
Yeah, no. This is Sir Terry Pratchett.
Not Terry.
Good kind.
Good kind.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
This is the good one.
Just making sure. Okay.
Right.
Okay, but yeah, that actually came to mind when I was reading this.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh.
And maybe he wrote that and was like, no, it's not a socioeconomic, thing. It's just boots, man.
No, it's definitely a commentary on.
Yeah. Okay. But I like that. I just felt like it had to be some sort of like head nod, right? I mean, it's boots. I do like Matt's reactions to things where he's like, it's not a metaphor. It's just boots.
Yeah. I could see it being in his character. And here's the thing about characters.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to be the same as they were. 5 books ago.
Whoa.
They've been through other things.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, let's just move on here because before we get to the boots, we got to go through.
Okay. Well, listen.
Other stuff.
Here's what I think about this chapter. Number 1, super happy. There's a perspective change.
Okay.
Because that makes me feel like I'm reading more.
Right. Fair.
Like more story.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty happy that we actually get something done in our first perspective.
Okay.
And then we almost sort of talk about how we're about to maybe get something done.
Oh, and I have a big question at the end of this chapter for you, but we'll wait.
I can't wait for your question.
It's going to be a good one. It's
I have my answer ready.
It's a doozy.
My answer is, they better be.
When are we getting to the fireworks factory?
Tomorrow.
Is tomorrow this book or is tomorrow next book?
It better be. It better be this book.
There's not much time left.
I feel like in the last Q&A, you asked me if we're going to get, or someone asked.
I have been asking this question for at least
so I
a
solidly said,
yeah,
we're getting to the Tower of Genjai.
Right.
And then we're going to, probably that'll be our cliffhanger.
Sure.
Which is fine.
Okay.
As long as we're going.
Yeah.
And it's going to get resolved at some point.
Yeah.
And then I had a really super cool theory about how the epilogue is going to be.
Right.
Or the prologue of the next book, or the epilogue of this book is going to be from Moraine's point of view.
Okay.
After going through and like waiting to be rescued.
I love it. I love it.
Like, I want that so bad.
Yeah.
I want it.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So chapter 52 is called Boots, and the chapter symbol is our Kyrian sun.
Yep, because we're going there.
Well, I think we're there.
Well, no, technically not.
Oh, right. We gateway there.
At the very beginning, we're not, and then we are, because gateways.
The beginnings of these chapters, I'm like, go already.
It's always like that.
You could have just been walking in.
Right.
And it would have had the same impact on me.
No. But in the beginning part here, when they're just on their horses, but not yet through the gateway, we can learn things like the horses' names. Did you even know?
Glitter? What is it?
Glimmer.
Elena's
on Glimmer, and Brigida is on Rising.
Okay.
I don't know how you...
Glitter better.
I don't know how you name horses, though. What's the theme? What?
Adjectives.
Yeah.
Rising is a verb, though.
Yeah, okay.
I would say?
Yes.
Okay.
You're the teacher.
I know. I don't know. I haven't done Mad Libs in so long. No, I'm just... Oh, man. Okay.
Okay, we do get some interesting stuff about, like, the Foxhead Medallion copies.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting.
We could have heard that in the palace.
I get that.
You know? Anyway, okay.
I get that.
So Elaine's having a hard time copying and making replicas now that she doesn't have the real one anymore.
Yeah, I like to imagine as she's trying to make copies of a copy, which is making worse copies because she like melted her dresser or something like that. But the copy of the original is better. So her dreams and desires of having like her entire force outfitted in these, which would be really cool, doesn't seem like it's actually going to happen now. So we do have Brigida who has one of these fake, the fake ones, like the good copies. So technically Brigida can't channel while holding it, I guess, because like that's the good copy.
Brigida can't channel.
I know, that's the point. It doesn't matter if you can't channel. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
I was like, did you mean Elaine? Okay, no, I get it.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that is like it doesn't matter if you can't channel because you can't channel.
Okay.
So.
All right. So anyway, our plan is to head into Cairhien through a gateway with a bunch of people,
but not too many.
But like most.
Well, 100. We only have 100 people.
Okay, that's actually, we've seen way more.
Yeah, exactly. And the force on the other side, the Cairhien people, it's a lot more. So only having 100 is important because she doesn't want to seem like a conqueror.
But she also doesn't want to seem like she's afraid of being like taken out. Like if you show up with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like a give and take thing, I guess.
All right. So we also get some update on the kinswomen that we haven't talked about in many moons.
Yeah. We get some names. We got Elise. We know Elise.
We remember Elise.
Yeah. And then we've got Seracia, Nashia, and Kima.
Nope, don't know them.
Kema. Yeah, only 2 are strong enough for a gateway, assuming that Elaine can't hold the power. So, like, we do have an extra we don't have, like, the most powerful channelers. And these are the ones who Elaine's actually allowed to use, right? So there's the whole thing where it's like, what channelers can you use for this kind of stuff?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing. I do love it, though, because Brigida this entire time, she's like, this is so foolish. This is a terrible plan. This is dangerous.
Brigida's having just a hard time in general with everything that's happening.
Well, and Elaine's like, this isn't the most dangerous thing I've done.
It's only
like, I've done way worse things.
Second most dangerous thing I've ever done.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Not chasing after Black Aja with no backup.
Right, that's true.
Right. There's been way more irresponsible things she's done.
I mean, they could just immediately assassinate her.
The bar is very high for her being...
Yeah, but this is a risk I feel like as a ruler is necessary to take.
That's what Elaine thinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the same as Elaine.
That's her point. Yeah.
I do think that this makes more sense than her just like disguising as a Forsaken and like showing up in the dungeon to question a captured Black Aja.
Right.
But this at least makes sense to the end goal of
becoming the ruler of Cairhien.
Politics.
Yeah, you got to do it. Some things you have to do.
I would say this makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I'm not upset that she's doing this.
She has some of the same thoughts, and she's also like a little bit like I don't know if I would say sad, but she thinks I'm gonna have to get used to my friends stepping in front of me in case an arrow is shot at me. Right. So that's Brigida's entire job and Gaibon's job. So she's gonna have to get used to it. But she's also the person who's the entire time been like, my subjects are willing to die for me, and they should be.
And they should. They should.
As they should.
I will actually be upset.
But those are subjects versus friends, right?
Lord Farquaad vibe.
Right. A little
Some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
I can see Elaine as that. Yeah. It makes sense.
But only with John Lithgow's voice?
Yeah.
No one else's. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But then who's Shrek?
Rand.
Okay.
No.
Who's Donkey?
Yeah. Matt.
Okay, we need to...
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Focusing. So yeah, now we go through the gateway. We do a whole thing where it's like Brigida says, hey, can you do something to make sure arrows don't hit her? And Elise like, I guess so. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Haven't done it before, but here's a swirling wind wall of something. Not even sure. I'm not even sure of the weave.
I also don't understand.
There's something.
Nobody gets it.
But then we're through the gateway, and now we're being greeted by the 2 Cairhien lords, the 2 important guys that we talked about last episode. So we got Lorstrom and Bertome.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are the two important ones, and they're both here with 5,000 troops each.
Whoa, that's more than us.
So, yes, yes, it is.
Good at
10,000
math.
troops versus 100, and Brigida's like, whoa, if they want to take you, like, they're making it a fighting chance. Like, yes, we have some channelers, but it's a real good possibility. Like, if they want to, they could make an attempt.
They could.
Yep.
All right, we're going to have a whole procession through the city of Cairhien.
Big one. Big one.
Led by their Cairhienan escort.
Yes, which is important. And they're either protecting her or keeping her captive at this point. She doesn't really know.
Well, and then Tweedledee rides up and is like, hey, Elaine, I'm kind of nervous. There's been some stuff happening with some, quote, unfortunate rumors about her ascension.
Yeah. I love it because Elaine thinks, yeah, they were probably planted by you a couple weeks ago. Yeah. But, once you start the rumors, you have to spread even more rumors if you want to overtake those rumors. So,
yeah,
cat's out of the bag, man. Can't put the cat back in the bag once it's out. So that's what he's saying. He's like, there's some rumors that have been flying around about you. Things might get a little bit violent. I don't know for sure at this point, but hopefully not.
Okay, but as she rides through the city, there are some cheers.
Yes.
People are excited.
Yeah.
People are cheering for her.
Definitely maybe some paid actors here at the beginning.
I mean, maybe.
But then it catches on.
Love it.
Yeah. I do love it, though, because I feel like Elaine has a bit of a savior's complex. Like, her thought coming in is, oh, I don't know if they're going to welcome me. But then she starts getting welcomed. And then she thinks, yes, I must save these people. They've been, waiting for someone like me to come in and fix their city. Mm-hmm. And I am the one who is going to do that. Yes, they should be cheering me.
Yes, they're happy with this. Excellent.
They're so happy. And, maybe they are. But Elaine has the whole nobility.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get to where we're going, basically. And we have two ladies who have been in charge, two Aes Sedai. Are they Aes Sedai?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sashal is the one who was previously involved in Rand's kidnapping.
Ooh.
Then was stilled.
Oh.
Yeah. And then was healed.
Oh.
And then swore the oaths to Rand.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
a lot of information about her. Okay.
Yeah. And then Samitsu is the one that is like Catwin's buddy who's a really good healer.
Okay.
And there's been a bit of a beginning. Samitsu was supposed to be in charge, but now Sashal is kind of stepping up a little bit here. Something to do with power levels probably, but it is what it is.
Okay.
They're the two ladies in charge.
Set by Rand.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yep. And so they come forward and welcome Elaine and pass formal control over to her.
Yeah.
And that includes the Lord Dragon is giving you the right to rule here.
Right.
And then Elaine has a little bit of a thing. She's having a complex where she's like, ugh, I wanted to do it on my own. But
why do they have to say that part?
Yeah.
Even though, I technically am going to use that and repeat
annoyed.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like Sashal is, jabbing her
No.
with that information. It's just like she's being super formal.
No. And honestly, I get Elaine's point, why she wanted to take it all by herself over in Camelin.
Yeah.
However, it pissed me off that she wouldn't just walk in and be like, Dragon Reborn said so, leave me alone. Yeah. And then a lot of things could have been avoided.
Yeah. Okay, I get that too.
She couldn't put her ego aside.
Well, and now here, but she does
Which
also
I'm happy
use
for.
she uses Rand's name a little bit here.
Good.
So.
She should.
I know.
She should.
I was on board with her doing that for Andor. I get why she did.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying.
Someone's going to give me
Well, I think that she should have at least used the Aiel who wanted to help.
Right? Invading force, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand the arguments.
Why would we use a bunch of turncoat missionary guys?
Not they weren't missionaries.
Not missionary. What's the word I'm looking for?
Mercenary.
Mercenary.
You know what? Actually, no. Let's go with the first one.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Bunch of turncoat missionaries.
That's not what I meant. Okay, I knew it was wrong as soon as I said it. But why are we going with a bunch of people who have no loyalty whatsoever, but they're allowed to fight for you?
Yeah.
But the Aiel who want to fight for you can't?
Yeah, it's couldn't you just if it was a money thing, hire them.
Give them the fifth or something. They'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Or you hire them. No.
So many things.
No.
So many things. Okay. Anyway, okay.
It's the pattern, okay?
Here, at least, we have Elaine accepting that Rand is giving her this throne, essentially. Yeah. Even though she, is on the inside, but I mostly did it myself.
Mostly, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now we get a really funny scene, though, because now we've got Elaine and crew, like, Elaine's walking up to the throne, and we've got all the Kyrianan nobility entering here, and they're all super proper. Mm-hmm. I do like the distinction, actually, between the Kyrianan nobility and the Andorran nobility, where in Andor you get these, like, the patriots, as Elaine kind of talks it, like, you can basically shout at your queen, being like, you know, this is for Andor, yada, yada, yada. But the Kyrianan are all super proper and would never.
No, and they have to, like, line up in order of
like
importance with their amount of stripes they have in their
and
whatever.
Like, which might change based on Game of Houses stuff. Yeah. So it's just, like, the difference in the types of nobility and the way you can interact with the throne. It's I like it. I like that part.
Okay.
But wait, before Elaine sits down on the throne,
Brigida stops her.
Yes.
And starts to inspect the cushion.
Yeah.
And Elaine's like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Mom.
Mom, not now.
Yeah.
I'm about to take the throne.
Yeah. But then Brigida shouts, aha, and yanks a little black-tipped needle out of the cushion.
Whoa, assassination attempt.
Oh, and Tweedledee and Tweedledum are like,
whoa,
shocked.
That's definitely not for you. That must have been a leftover.
That must have been a leftover.
Yeah, for the Dragon Reborn.
Because no one would ever try to kill you.
No, we are BFFs.
Yeah, definitely not us.
Yeah, no.
For sure, never.
Yeah.
Okay, so who was it?
We don't know.
No,
we don't know
what
if
do you think?
We don't know if it was either of them.
I know that. Or
it could have been anybody.
Yeah. What's your theory?
Could have been Brigida.
No, Rob, that's a bad theory.
I think Brigida planted the needle
so
and pulled it out.
Hero,
yes.
Yeah.
Hero of the Horn.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Who
she
else?
Likes to be the hero.
Mm-hmm.
Double hero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt that one.
And also, it's a power move because now it puts the Kyrianan on edge because now they're like, oh my goodness, I wasn't part of this assassination attempt plan. Right? So they're feeling like they're on the outs now from the interior assassination.
I think it was one of these dudes.
It's a whole, there's so many layers.
I think it was one of the dudes.
It was Elaine planted it herself previously.
Do we find out?
Why do you think I would say that?
Well, I feel like we find out because you won't give me a straight answer. Like, if you actually had no idea, you would give some speculation about what you think.
I did give you speculation.
No, that's...
I gave you, like, two really good names.
You gave me dumb speculation.
Brigida
that doesn't
and
actually
Elaine.
count. Yeah, neither of those count.
Yeah, okay, you're going to be really embarrassed.
Unless Brigida and Elaine, it's like they set it up ahead of time.
You know what? The rest of this book is uncovering the needle plot.
Maybe.
Never know.
They really seem to just, like, move past it.
Well, we do, because there's another really funny sequence, too, because then Elaine's like, are we good now? And Brigida says, one way to find out.
And she plops her butt
I love it.
blindly down.
Yeah, and then everyone gasps. It's so shocking.
Because Brigida's never supposed to sit in the throne.
Mom, you can't sit in the throne.
And she's like, this thing is so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, I love it because Brigida's like, I'm your bodyguard. I can do whatever I want to. Yeah. Like, I can eat your food. I can enter rooms before you. I can do whatever.
I can sit wherever my butt pleases.
Wherever I want to.
Yeah.
And, like, I agree with her. I think she did a great job.
Yeah. But anyway, turns out no more poison-tipped needles.
Right, because Brigida only planted the one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, that would hurt. Just right up in your butt? Ouch.
She's taking one for the team.
No, I'm just saying, like, whoever planted that there.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, like, the teacher prank, the push pin on the
Oh, yeah,
seat.
like actually having that go in your butt?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just not too long ago, I somehow accidentally sat on a wasp.
Yeah.
And got, like, stung on my butt.
Yeah.
It really hurt.
You got a welt, yep.
I really thought that I, like, sat on a needle or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, instant sting.
Probably what it would feel like.
And I jumped up yelling and grabbing my butt.
I was preparing you for this chapter.
So that would hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? What's happening?
Okay, yeah. So now Elaine is going to give her a short and sweet speech because she's in charge now. Yeah. She's the queen. But it's going to make both countries strong.
Yeah,
so this is actually a good thing.
We're allies now.
Yeah,
and it's also what Rand wishes, so shut the fuck up about it.
Right. So she name drops too, so I don't know why she's so salty about it before.
Well, that was her own...
Well, when Sashal says it, but that's... I get that,
I don't think that she was actually... She's just always on edge.
I know, I get it.
Okay,
so now we got to give commands here.
Sure.
So, first off, all the nobles have to gather all their forces and all the house guards, and then gather everybody else in the realm who can hold a sword and conscript them to the army, men and women, because guess what's happening?
Well, no, we're conscripting men, and we're giving women the option to
join.
Right,
yes. Okay, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to be happening?
The last battle.
That's right. And
We also need to have a meeting with every bell founder in the city.
Right.
Right, meow.
Right meow, because we're going to make more...
Dragons.
Yes, you call them the right name. Okay. Cannons. There we go. And then everybody's like super shocked because
They're like, no, what about the big party?
What about the party and the feast and stuff? That's part of Game of Houses. Oh my goodness. All the scheming that would have happened.
And Elaine is like, we can have a feast when the last battle has been won.
Right, let's get moving.
And she's like, I can't even drink wine anyway.
I know. I don't want to go to a dumb party with you guys.
Yeah.
It'd be terrible. So we do get a time frame here because the last battle will possibly for reals start pretty soon because we have Rand meeting at the Field of Marrowlore tomorrow, and then after that, Rand said he's going to Shale Ghul. So whether that means like right after the meeting or the next day or
a year from now.
Who's to say? Probably not a year from now. Not that many books.
I don't know.
We're not wasting a lot of time.
We could Portal Stone again.
Fair.
Who knows?
Fair.
Not me.
You know what?
That's for sure.
Yeah, and Rand's like, hey, let's just do Portal Stones again.
Remember that thing that we haven't talked about
in
great. 8 books?
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, we got other ways to travel now.
Yeah, not weird, scary, doohickey magic. Although, I bet with Luz Theron's memories, we might have a better understanding of them now.
Like working them properly?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, I'm going to put that on my list.
That Luz Theron knows stuff about Portal Stones?
Where the heck are they? They've never been here today.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's a thing that petered right out.
Do you want to revisit that?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, is there anything else in this perspective we need to talk about?
No, she took Kyrian. It's hers.
She did it.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean for now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because of Game of Houses and such.
Right.
So she does, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Good. I'm glad.
Now we can move on.
Hopefully. Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to call a break.
Yep.
I need to top off of wine.
I see it.
And then I want to get into this very frustrating perspective.
Okay. All right.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah. You said you're frustrated with this one? Is that just because like we're not
God,
we're not
let's just
anywhere
talk
yet?
about the things we're going to do even more.
Yeah. But like the good vibes too that this camp is. So Matt's in the camp.
It's great vibes.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's recap.
Yeah.
It's like good.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Okay. Can we? It's a moment of peace for Matt with his buddies in his military camp.
He's had so many moments of peace.
It's a moment of peace before things are gonna go down. Probably
things are going great with the dragons, with Elaine. Things are going good with Perrin. He just got to have a whole meeting with him and explain everything that happened. So I feel like we already kind of got this.
Right, but the more chill Matt is, the better it is for everybody.
I mean, I'm not complaining, okay?
Right. Yeah, it sounds like you are.
I'm just saying, it's...
Okay. You know what he doesn't like doing? Going through reports.
Well, who does?
Yeah, okay. So we got reports about the agreement to work with Elaine.
Okay, yep.
Agreements about...
Oh, wait. Did we say it's a Matt perspective?
Oh, yeah. No, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything right. Okay.
So it's a Matt perspective.
Matt perspective. He's in his camp.
Yep.
And he's chilling.
He's thinking about how nice everything is.
So nice. It's peaceful.
It's great.
Okay.
Everyone's happy.
But he's got to look... Well, okay. And then 2 pages later, he's like, man, I got to look at reports. Yeah. So we had 2 pages of, like, the military camp is the best place to be in the evening.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, man, I got to look at paperwork.
And he's like, I wish I was drinking and singing songs, too.
Right. Who wouldn't?
Can't be, because
who wouldn't?
Now he's the leader.
You're right. Reports and dragon crews and supplies and discipline reports. But there's also reports about Shanshan stuff.
Oh,
One piece of news in particular, right?
Is it that they have traveling or something? No, that's just what we know.
That Tuon is the new empress.
Oh, that news.
Yeah, that's the news. Because a lot of news he's hearing right now, like he beat the news already because he got to travel from Varen's Gateway.
Yeah.
And like news travels slowly across the continent.
Sure, yeah.
But now we're getting some new news, such as Tuon Empress. And also a little thing about wolves.
I've come a little bit full circle on not liking their relationship anymore.
Oh, what does that mean? You like it or don't like it?
Well, the amount of time that we saw them getting to know each other and building a relationship, and I almost was lulled into this false sense of we like Tuon.
Right, okay.
Because I like Matt.
Right.
And Matt likes Tuon, so therefore I should like Tuon. But no. No. I don't like Tuon.
Well, or is it like a fate thing? He only likes her because he's fated to marry the daughter of the Nine Moons.
They really do seem to get along. It's like, it's annoying.
Yeah.
And he's like, so happy for her and shit.
Right.
Ugh, gross. I want all the Shanshan gone, and I hate them so much.
Okay. I got nothing to add to that. I don't know what to tell you.
I've just come around, because I feel like the last time I was talking about Matt too, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe she'll come around.
Right.
No.
Right. I think we've seen a perspective with her since then where she was like, no, not coming around at all.
Even a little bit.
Bit.
Actually, I think it's worse than it was before, because she's like sad that she's not enslaving people on
more
her own.
people. It could be way
and
more.
She's not
yeah.
Getting as many as she wants.
And the White Tower and such.
Ugh.
Okay, back to my news.
Yeah.
There's packs of wolves.
Oh, right.
Enormous packs that are congregating, and then it looks like they're all howling together and stuff. What are the wolves even doing? Wow.
Those wolves are weird.
Crazy. I don't know what's happening.
Weird wolves.
They're going on some sort of hunt. It might be the last one.
It might.
I don't know. But then we also got all the weird livestock doing weird things like lining up in fields and all facing north and watching. Just imagine a whole line of cows, a whole line of sheep.
That feels like a bubble of evil to me.
Just looking.
That feels
just
crazy.
looking that way.
That feels like I would rather see a field of ghosts
than a field
of cows all lined up staring one direction.
Yeah, but they're still like cows and they're probably chewing on something while they're looking.
Still feels so weird.
You'd be like, what are those cows doing?
I don't like it. At least if I see a field of ghosts, I'm like, oh, ghosts.
I understand that.
I understand that. I'm scared of it. It's bad.
Yeah.
The cow thing, not sure how to feel about that. So that's like, it's the uncertainty.
Again, these are just rumors that we're hearing. I cannot verify that they have in fact all lined up and are looking north. Anyways, it seems like the last battle's coming.
It feels like over and beyond what actually needs to be described to be like, by the way, bad things are happening to the north.
Yeah.
Sheep are looking that way. Okay, thanks,
they
Brando.
They know.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then one other thing we got to get caught up in here. Varen's letter. Matt has not opened it.
I know.
He hasn't opened it.
He thinks about doing it.
It's difficult to resist. It's the most difficult thing he's ever done.
I really, really, really thought this
he just wants to look.
Would be the chapter.
It's so funny
because he takes it out.
He does. Like more than once.
Yeah.
He does it at the end of this chapter too. He's
I thought that was going to be it.
No, I'm not going to do it.
I thought we were going to do it.
Friggin' fake out, man.
Fake out.
He's not going to do it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
so
but
now,
anyway.
Yeah, we got to get interrupted here because Satal and Anne.
Satal and Anne, the innkeeper who was kicked out of the White Tower?
Burned out.
She
burned out.
Studying some...
Terrain Grail, yeah.
Terrain Grail.
She burned out, and then she's like one of the only Aes Sedai we know about who didn't die after being burned out because she basically found something else to live for, which is like her family.
And her inn and crap.
And her inn and stuff. Like, well, maybe the family more than the...
I mean,
maybe the inn, but
pour yourself into your job.
Yeah. And she has like a big family and like a husband and stuff too. Like,
yeah, that part is probably better.
It's nice too. It can be.
She liked the inn. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was her thing.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Okay. Anyway, so she's here.
They have some banter.
It's pretty sarcastic. I kind of like it. Like I like their back and forth. Mm-hmm. And Satal's putting pieces together of Matt more and more. Like they have a little bit of back and forth. Like
this also feels a lot like some recap. Like we haven't seen Matt doing what he's doing in a long time. I feel like it was like book 8 or 9. Like I don't even know the last time we actually saw like Matt doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
with
like
Satal and Anne, and
I mean the whole thing. He's so sarcastic too because he goes on this whole spiel about like, oh, are you gonna sit on my steward, which is a tree stump? And he makes sure I don't have to have meetings with anybody. And then she like sits on the tree stump and it's like, oh, you're sitting on his head. It's like a whole, it's a whole thing.
It's too much, but okay.
It's a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get to this whole recap about Jolene.
Yeah. Well, she got a letter. She sent a letter.
Because she made it back to the tower safely.
Yeah.
And Matt's the one who sent her with horses and like, let her go and everything.
Matt all saved everybody there, and she's actually really grateful.
Turns out Jolene actually likes Matt. She's just bad at expressing how she feels.
Matt did the thing with the blue.
Painted her mouth blue with some blue flowers or something.
Here's the thing.
Some herbs that like turn your mouth blue or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then that all leads into the whole conversation, which is actually like the important part too, I think, of this chapter. Satal and Anne wants to know, like, hey, why don't you like Aes Sedai? Why do you hate them so much? Like, what's that all about?
I would say, and not what Matt says, but I would say,
yeah,
childhood trauma.
Sure.
I mean,
Problems with authority.
problems with authority, but then also core values and worldview.
Right.
Like, those things are really hard to shake when you've grown up your entire life hearing one thing about one kind of people.
That's true.
And then it turns out they're not all like that, and it's actually completely different.
But also, Aes Sedai are, like, maybe even worse than what some people... Like, I feel like a lot of the rumors that they had in the Two Rivers about Aes Sedai is, like, it's actually kind of accurate.
And also experience.
Right.
Matt has had some pretty shitty experiences with Aes Sedai, so...
Yeah. Like, all in all, it's all...
Bias.
Yes.
Trauma.
Right.
Experience.
Okay.
That's what we can chalk it up to.
He doesn't say that.
No.
He says, I don't hate them. Nope, not me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, not really. Okay, so Matt, we get a conversation with Matt asking, like, what's it like to lose the thing you lost, which is the one power. And Satal gives an analogy about knowing that you used to be able to enjoy your absolute favorite food, and then you can't anymore, but your friends can, and then you're jelly and you're envious, but then you finally come around to be like, you know what, at least they can enjoy the thing I can't. So it's kind of an interesting perspective on the whole being burned out, not being able to channel. You could fall in line with the stilled side of things too.
Yes.
Because it's a very unselfish take of saying, I can't do it, but I'm happy other people can. Like, that is super unselfish.
Yeah, that also feels different than a lot of the stuff we've heard before about the comparisons to using the one power as, like, being on drugs.
Right.
Or being intoxicated in some way.
I can't do drugs anymore, but at least my friends
I'm
can
so
do drugs.
glad that my friends can still get super high, even though I can't. Like,
Exactly.
no, not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah. So, different than that, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
And I mean, you know who I feel worst for? People who are celiac.
Oh, yeah. Because bread?
Yeah.
Bread
Do they feel happy that I can eat bread? Probably no.
Probably no. They're still in that selfish stage
Yeah.
of being like, ugh, Danny, eating all that bread.
So much sourdough.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's like how I feel when you make bread and then bring it to somebody else instead of letting me eat it.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
Hate it.
Here you go.
Hate it.
Oh, man. So many.
Okay.
So many things.
I understand everything they're going through. All the emotions, I get it. Okay. So now, Matt's like, I don't actually hate them, but sometimes I just want to do stuff without people telling me not to do it or do it another way.
I mean, honestly, me too, man.
Yeah. And then also, he wants to do stuff without being told that he's wrong and
All the
that his
time.
stuff is wrong and I'm always right. Like, I just want to be left alone, basically.
You know what? Yeah.
It's a little bit fair.
I get it.
A little bit fair.
Maybe he should stop being such a scoundrel.
Yeah. Right? Rapscallion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that leads into the Satal asking, does this have anything to do with your hatred of nobles? And then Matt again
What
says...
What is this? Therapy?
I know. It's terrible. He's like, I don't have anything against nobles. I just don't want to be one of them.
Yeah. Satel, you know,
It's the same thing.
I want to see your credentials.
Yeah.
Like, quit it. Quit therapizing my boy.
Right.
Enough.
Terrible. And then that's where we get to the boot analogy here. That's the whole thing we get here.
Yeah.
So it's all about boots.
If anyone needs therapy, it's everyone in this book.
It's everybody in the series, absolutely. Including probably
Matt.
Satal and Anne.
Oh, I'm...
The giver of the therapy.
Oh,
of this
for sure.
one.
Well, I mean, like, therapists also need therapy, probably.
Who therapizes?
Other therapists.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what that sounds like?
What?
Dark Friend Pyramid Scheme.
Therapy pyramid scheme.
That's what it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's got to be, right?
Anyway, so there's a whole boot analogy about how we don't like nobles, and that's it.
But why? I want to go through this boots analogy.
Okay.
I understand where he's coming from.
Me too. And I do think it's a really beautiful metaphor.
Yeah.
I do think it's very well written, and I do really like it. And I like that Satel is trying to pull out something from it.
Yeah,
and Matt's
something
like,
useful.
What?
And also
No.
laughing at him when he's like, Talmanis has like 40 pairs of boots. And she's like, oh, that's a lot, is it? Because I just like to think of our relationship.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who has one pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I
Drives me
actually, I
nuts.
have like 3 pairs of shoes.
Drives me nuts.
I have like winter boots. I have a pair of summer shoes. And I got my gardening shoes.
Yeah, well, and your runners look terrible.
Yeah, and you bought me new shoes. I haven't worn them yet.
I know. Why not? They're
well,
so
because
nice.
my shoes still fit good, okay?
No, they do not.
They're fine.
Okay.
And then you on the other hand, you are like Talmanis,
I'm
where
a
it's like,
noble.
what's all these shoes doing? There's different shoes for everything. You got all these different crazy shoes, and you got shoes that
Some
connect to
people
other
like
shoes.
having choices.
Right.
Some
I understand
people like
that.
making decisions.
I'm just saying, I'm not one of those people.
And neither's Matt.
Right.
Okay. Like that segue?
Okay.
Okay, tell me.
So
go.
here we go. The poorest folk, they only got one pair of boots. So when you're like, hey, what kind of pair of boots are you going to wear? They're going to say, well, I only got one pair, so I'm going to wear those ones. Cool. Now, the average
They'd
person...
probably be way more rude about it.
Maybe.
They'd probably be like, the fuck you talking about? Those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What a terrible question.
Yeah.
Okay, the average man, and Matt is the average man. He goes in a whole little thing about that, too.
Of course.
He is completely average. Okay, 3 pairs of boots. Now, your third best pair is for working and doing something unpleasant, like mucking out the barn, working in the field, and I get that. Those are my gardening shoes.
Mowing the lawn.
They're crap.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
get 'em.
why they're
I
there.
have that too. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But I have like 3 pairs of bad shoes. Keep it
Depending
going.
on, yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
has nothing to do with how noble I am. It's just I'm a hoarder and I don't throw anything away.
It might be both.
Yeah.
Okay, now your second best pair of shoes, those are your day-to-day boots, your day-to-day shoes, and you wear those if you're going over for dinner at your neighbors or if you're going into battle. They're nice boots that you don't mind being seen in. So, Satal is trying to figure out what the best boots are for after that, and she thinks, okay, well, then your best boots, you would wear those to like social events, like a ball, or dining with your local dignitaries.
Nah.
And
no way, man.
No, Matt's like, what the balls and dignitaries? No, man. Like,
Yeah.
one's working in the field and one's going for dinner.
Yeah, going for dinner. Doesn't matter who I'm going for dinner with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So Matt's like, no, we're not going to balls. The best boots are for walking.
Those are your arch supports.
Yes, so any farmer knows the value of good boots when you go walking a distance. And then Satal's like, what does this have to do with being a nobleman? And Matt goes in a whole thing about Talmanis being like, he's got 40 pairs of boots, and they're all different types of boots, and they're different outfits, and different styles, and boots for kings, and high lords, and
how
normal
do you even
people.
decide which ones to wear?
Yeah,
Ugh,
winter
it's
and summer
exhausting.
boots, rainy, dry boots, and boots you wear when you're walking to the bathing chamber. Like, there's so many boots. This is crazy. So then Satal thinks,
Okay,
She's-
you're using boots as
metaphor.
a metaphor.
And this is why I really like the fun fact for it, because it's like she's trying to come up with the metaphor of the boots analogy, and he's like, no, no.
Yeah, she's like, okay, so this is all about the onus of responsibility and decision placed upon the aristocracy as they assume leadership of complex political and social positions.
Yeah.
And Matt's like,
no.
bloody ashes, woman.
Boots. It's not a metaphor, it's boots.
Just boots.
Just boots.
And it's so funny because at the beginning of this chapter, when I read the title Boots, I thought to myself, this is either literally about one pair of boots,
yeah.
or this is about something wildly off base about somebody dying in like a pair of boots. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be something so wild.
And now you know it's just boots.
It's just boots.
Yeah. I feel like I could get that as a tattoo. I would be okay with that.
Just the word boots?
It's just boots.
You're going to get that.
Yeah, it says it's just boots.
It's just boots.
It's just boots.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could work that in.
Okay.
I've been thinking on expanding.
Have you?
I
Okay.
haven't, yeah. Anyways, and then Satal's like, you are unconventionally wise, Matt. I like it.
Okay. Anyway, so here's the thing. Satel is like, I want to leave. I want to go find my family. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
And Matt says, you can have one when I get back.
Yes. Yeah, basically the implication is that if he doesn't come back, then she's got to take care of Oliver. And I guess if he does, then don't
She
worry about it.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he has an errand to run with ToM and Noel, and he'll figure stuff out for her when it's over.
Yeah, like he's mentioned it to Elaine. We got that set up. It'll be fine. But wait till I'm back. And she understands and we're good.
Okay, so then Matt goes back to thinking about the trip he needs to make to the Tower of Genji.
Yep. Because he just had that big conversation with Brigida.
Right, which was a long time ago for us.
Yes, so it was. But basically, like, she didn't make it out of the Tower of Genji.
One of her lives, she died in there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she was like, I was in there for like 2 months wandering to try to heal Geidel Kane, I think the story went.
Yeah.
And she died there. So, like, that's not a good plan
No.
to go in there
'Cause-
and just wander around.
Matt says, I'm gonna leave tomorrow and I'll be back in a day or two.
Yeah. But hopefully
And
not
I was
2
like,
months.
hold on, what?
Well, yeah.
Don't we know that time moves differently in there?
Well, we don't know that, actually.
Don't we think that time moves differently in there?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay,
anyways.
But Brigida didn't have his luck.
That's right. He's got it. She didn't. So maybe that'll get him through. And then this is the fake out, the double fake out.
Picks up the letter again.
Picks it up. Yep.
What's in it? Don't even care. not gonna look at it.
Yeah, not gonna look
and
at Varen's
tomorrow we leave for the Tower of Genji.
Yes. You know what's also really funny too? It's just like a tiny little tidbit here. So he's got a pitcher of cider.
That he drinks from the jug.
He's been drinking out of the jug all night, but then he offered it to Satalanan and poured it into a cup for her, and then she drinks it from the cup, and then after she leaves, he continues drinking from the jug, and he thinks, I'm not going to tell her that I was just drinking from the jug all night, because that's not something you need to mention.
Sure.
It's so funny.
Okay.
I don't know, I just love it.
Yeah, okay.
Because, like you drink from a container sometimes, and then someone's like, can I have some? And you're like, okay.
Okay.
I guess so. Right?
Sure.
Doesn't that happen to you often?
I mean, no.
Also, I just want a jug of cider. How big is the jug?
Oh, I was
Like
picturing like a team pitcher.
Yeah. See? Yeah. Okay.
Or like at least a regular pitcher of beer.
Right.
Bigger than...
I like how you're holding up your hand trying to imagine the size of the jug or the pitcher. How much?
Bigger than like a stein, for sure.
For sure.
Because that's just a cup. That's
you're
just
not
a mug.
sharing
That's
that.
just a mug of ale. That's
Yeah.
just a mug of cider.
Yeah, it has to be a jug
to
that
be-
you would assume would always be poured into a
I'm
cup.
going to go 4 liters.
He's just drinking 4 liters.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Or
Okay.
for other people who don't use the most regular measurement system in the entire world.
What is it, a gallon?
Gallon.
A gallon. Okay. All right. I have a question for you.
No.
He's going
a
to the Tower
quart.
of...
It's a quart.
I don't know. I have no idea. No, a quart's 4
1
cups,
liter
isn't it?
is sort of similar to a gallon, and 4 liters is similar to
I
a
don't care
quart.
about this at all. Okay. Tower of Genji. Is that happening this book?
Like a quart of milk.
Okay.
In the
tomorrow.
States, I think.
Tower of Genji is tomorrow. Is tomorrow this book? Or is tomorrow next book? Or is it the cliffhanger?
Okay, I have to tell you that it better be.
It better be.
It better be this book.
Love it.
It better be this book.
Better be.
Tomorrow better be this book.
Seriously.
We better... I mean, like, we have to. Because of the cover of this book.
The cover of the book is at them at the front of the Tower of Genji.
That's at least what it certainly looks like.
It sure looks like it.
Because I haven't come across anything like that in this book so far.
But that doesn't tell you anything over the the cover.
But I mean, most of the covers, the Daryl K-Sweet covers,
yeah.
while there are some creative exaggerations
Sure. Okay.
taken, some
Yeah.
creative outlet that we can use.
Yeah.
The things have happened. You can look at it and be like, okay, that's a scene from this book.
Yeah.
While not exactly accurate or kind of all over the place, on this book, for sure has not happened anywhere yet.
Okay. Okay.
So I think we're getting to the tower
Love it.
because I need to at least get to the tower.
Okay.
And I'm also really, really, really rooting for a Moraine perspective. So even if Moraine doesn't survive the bringing out of the Tower of Genji, because like that still might happen, I still, before this series end, I need another Moraine perspective.
Fair. Okay. All right. Recap on the plan. We are going to do chapter 53 by itself. That's next chapter. Then we're doing 54, 55 together. That's going to be one episode. 56, 57 together. And then we're doing the epilogue separately.
Okay.
And then book recap.
Okay.
So, that's it.
Neat. Sounds good.
Yes. Okay.
And you know what I think we should do? With our new podcast space being built,
right.
We should wait until next book.
Ooh.
To record in there officially.
Okay.
I think that would be a fun way to like cap off everything, is to start the last book after 6 years of podcasting.
I love it.
in like an official podcast studio space.
Okay, I think we can line that up. Be around the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah. Besides, memory lane. Memory lane.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Kind of big deal.
I'm only looking forward to the space. I get to pick out new furniture and stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so before you take another throne and become the queen of another nation, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Hey, thanks so much for sticking around. That's the end of another fun episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, Gabby Young, Rycat, Zane Sayaka, Matrix, Matt Truss, The Albatross, Bratimus Prime, Sarah Creech, Sims, and Saverio Bartolini. With music by Audionautics. Now, everyone, please be sure to go check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon-exclusive merchandise as a thank you, plus you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And, at the time of recording, we have almost 50 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. As always, please be sure to give us a 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. And be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. For general information about our show, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.